All right, I'm gonna talk about something called fluidity. Okay, it's a new idea to me, so I don't know anything about this. So forgive me if I'm giving you a grade one lesson on something, and you have a university degree or some crazy kind of diploma. But I'm gonna talk about fluidity. Now, I haven't had this my whole life, so I haven't just found out about it. I know there are people literally in first grade who know exactly what this is. I do understand that. I'm just talking about it now. Now, to me, and this is the thing I've realized after about almost 4 months of having a presence, being outside of the shadow world, I learned something, and I learned that as I grow, right, and I learned this about myself. I just tend to make certain mistakes, and I tend to do certain things that are supposed to be correct. You know what I mean? But what I'm learning is that everything is for a reason. So even the mistakes I make are not generally bad, and the right things that I do are not generally good. You know what I mean? Now, this sounds like a basic lesson, and I'll admit, I remember that when I went to school, man, my whole life, the only thing that made me special, like legitimate, like other than looks, the only thing that made me special in my life was the cheap trick thing. I've been doing that as long as I can remember. Literally as long as I can remember. And I got a million examples. I remember, okay, what's a really early example of using a cheap trick? And you gotta remember, here's the thing. If I'm stuck at level one, I can go higher, right? But I will get slightly better still each time I master a cheap trick. And I'll give you an example. Bruce Lee said that he'd rather practice one move 1,000 times than practice 1,000 moves one time. Okay, I don't agree with that. Okay, I don't think Bruce Lee was that great maybe as a fighter, maybe not as a philosopher or anything like that. Was he really great? But it does help. You do the same thing so many times, you get good at it. Now, the point is that's all that made me special, and I use that in every sense of the word. I use it even in, like, when I learned how to play chess. I started developing right away. Like, okay, if I move the knight, and I started off with the same basic move, and I would play other beginners, and I destroy them in like 10 moves because I learned those moves. When I learned how the pieces move, I caught on everything really quick. I just didn't advance in it. So I knew if I move my knight and my knight there, bring the queen out, or bring the queen and the bishop out, I can just checkmate somebody so easily. So I use that. Obviously, I got to a level where I was trying to figure out chess, and I started playing Yahoo chess at that time. Yahoo had online games, and I would play Yahoo chess with random people who were very good, and they would have records like 200 wins, 30 losses, or something like that. And I got absolutely destroyed in chess playing against people of that level. Typically, there were no beginners playing Yahoo chess; they were all experts or whatnot. So I got destroyed there, right? Now, but there's something, okay, that made me a little special. But I'll tell you honestly, and I've said this before, you can have babies who are increasing level incredibly fast. Okay? That happens. I mean, there are kids who are 6 years old and they're already so advanced. Now, all these group of 5 or 6 kids are so advanced. They're at higher levels in different things so much faster. They're more complex. And you see it happening right away. You know what I mean? Literally, like, this is stuff that happens with children, man. And I know that some people will hear this and go, this guy is absolutely ridiculous. Tell me something that I don't know, because he's telling me shit that I knew when I was like either a toddler or like when I was old enough to walk. I mean, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? How is this guy getting any accolade? And that brings me to another idea or something to think about, is that is that was one of my knacks. You know what I mean? That was one of my knacks. I literally learned to do this. So I'll tell you what happened. So I was not happy about starting high school. I didn't want to do high school. I wanted to skip high school. I wanted to skip high school and go into anything right away. To be very honest, I wanted to avoid the army also, because I felt like the military required you to get too old and all this bullshit. I didn't want to go through that. And I'll be honest, I genuinely, at 13, 14 years old, I genuinely wanted to be involved in a war. Literally. Okay. This is a voluntary child soldier. You know what I mean? I didn't care where I went in the world. And I'm serious. I was dead serious about this. I was dead serious about going for whatever reason to another country. And I'm not talking about terrorism. Like, I wanted to get into like actual wars being fought. Now, when I was 13 or 12 years old, they did the Iraq War, right? So I would always think, well, it'd be cool. Now, and I'll be honest, one thing about this, I didn't care what side I was on. I didn't give a shit what the side was. I just wanted to be in the middle of the action. That's it. And I mean that in all seriousness. Like, I literally wanted to do that. Now, I remember I was not interested in making friends or anything. So typically when people enter high school, they really want to make friends. You know, girls and boys are talking to each other. Everyone's talking to each other. Everybody wants to make friends. You know, everybody's super friendly on the first day because everybody wants to make friends. I didn't really care about making friends. I didn't really make any friends. Then 10th grade happened. In 10th grade, in the middle of 10th grade, I just got so sick of it that I started, and I learned something about myself. I was like, dude, I can be anywhere. I can be anywhere, and I can be in the hallway or something, or at the pizza place, and I can have people who don't know me, and I can I can have a conversation with somebody that I'm familiar with, and I'll catch everybody's attention. You know, literally, adults, kids, the pizza shop owner, doesn't matter. I can talk about stuff to people and everybody wants to listen. You know what I mean? And that was before that I really started looking cute because I was interested. I had Nintendo glasses. My hair was a mess. I didn't know what kind of haircut to get. My clothes weren't anything special, you know. My clothes were kind of rustic, should I call that? Should I call my clothes rustic? Anyway, so I that was before I even started really trying to look good. You know what I mean? And then when I did look good, it was just because of the looks, and that was enough. You know, everybody all the time would tell me how good looking I was, to the point that some people would get sick of it and say, "Do you know this is a pet peeve in people? People don't like people who talk about how good they look. It's not a good thing. People don't like it when girls talk about how good they look. It's not something that people like." Okay, I would hear that a lot. Come on, man, just quit it with that stuff. You know what I mean? Now, I was somebody who would always hit an extreme end. You know, so if I had an experience that was bad, I would go on this end. If I had an experience this way, I'd go that end. If people told me something and I was getting a lot of pressure, I'd go all the way to this end. You know what I mean? But the point anyway, that led me to that point, and I told you I was able to do that. I was able to catch attention easier, you know. And I found out one thing about myself was that I could go up to anybody. I could go up to the biggest emo guy in the world, the most annoying girl in the world. You know what I mean? The ugliest person to the most good-looking person, and I could talk to anybody. That's what I learned about myself. I could talk to anybody. I could talk to a teacher. I could talk to a student. I could talk to anybody on any level that they wanted. I could talk to the most piece of shit person in the world and I had no issue with it. You know what I mean? That was one of the things that I learned about myself, where I could talk to anybody from any background or anything like that. The only guy that I remember that I know that did that was Tupac. Because I remember Tupac in an interview saying that when I went to jail, I talked to every guy that was on my block. You know, I talked to every single, he actually said that. He said, I talked to every single guy in jail. I took the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I talked to every guy that was in jail. Just because he was trying to learn and pick up things. And he would talk about, sometimes there were like stone cold killers who, if you don't like something they say, you got to be careful on how you talk to them. You know what I mean? But I remember him saying, that's the only other time I remember something like that. But that's the point. You know, the thing is, that's a game too. You know, being cute is a game. You know, you act cute and that's a game. You know what I mean? But but that right there, that gets you a lot of attention. You know, everybody knows that. You know what I mean? That gets you attention. Now, personally, I didn't look as cute. I don't look like that anymore. I used to be very cute. I don't look cute anymore. But this is what I really look like. You know what I mean? And this is more so my genuine face. My genuine hair, it's all colored. You can see it right now. Just a little bit of light is touching and you can see it's colored. But all my hair is colored, right? And my eyes did not look like this ever in my life. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but my eyes look different. My nose looks different. My face and my mouth. Even my facial hair has adjusted. I've had different kind of facial hair in my life before. My facial hair has changed. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So that's the deal, and yeah, I have that over people, but that's something that you don't need to try for. That's why you don't get respect for it. People will not respect you for being good looking. You will not get respect. You will get charm, you will get appeal, you will get people who are inquisitive and want to talk to you, but you will not get respect from your looks, right? And that's a big lesson that people learn, and I call it having a strong genetic. When you have a strong genetic and a strong mindset, you try to gain respect through other means, right? It doesn't matter what you look like. You got to understand that you cannot exploit your looks. Exploiting one's looks is not a good thing. It's not a good look. It's not a good look to exploit your looks. You know what I mean? That's something I learned. Now, being a little bit more complex, a little bit at a higher level, I understand that if you got to get respect through other ways, right? Finally, to wrap it up, I want to go back to the idea that kids develop really fast. No, sorry, the idea was fluidity, and that. So the fluidity is that as somebody, and I found almost after 4 months later, as I've grown, I just tend to make certain mistakes. I just tend to do certain things right. It just happens. You know what I mean? It's a natural part of growth, but it's kind of it's something new to me. Okay, I'm not I know super hot. Anyways, it's something new to me. I've never been able to do that. I'll tell you something. I enjoyed being a baby more than anybody. Right? I really truly enjoyed being a baby. It was a once in a lifetime chance. And I was in every single mindset of being a baby too, and I just genuinely enjoyed it, not knowing anything before that or anything like that. But I genuinely enjoyed it. I enjoyed genuinely growing up and believing that was who I was and everything, and not knowing a lot about myself. I genuinely now I look back and I go, that was a really sweet deal, and I got to do something that some people don't. Some people don't have really good childhood. So I got a chance to have a childhood, which I'm happy enough. I don't care how shitty it was. Anyways, I'm done. And I'll post this up.